The PlayStation 5 continues to break all kinds of sales records. Of course, the console launched in the UK not too long ago, and the PlayStation 5 is said to be the UK's biggest ever console launch, according to sources coming from Video Games Chronicle. We'll talk about that. Also, Dead Cells sales have topped 3.5 million, which is incredibly high for a game that wasn't a super marquee title, but still, that's an incredible number. And then DLC Fatal Falls will be launching in Q1 of 2021, and we'll talk that at the end of this video. But according to publishing sources speaking to VGC, launch sales for Sony's console far exceeded the UK's previous record holder 2013's PlayStation 4, which sold around 250,000 units in its first 48 hours. PlayStation 5 significantly outsold the launch of Xbox Series X and S in the region, which VGC previously reported had sold around 155k on their first day. The most popular PS5 model at launch was the more expensive disk drive edition. However, it does seem like Sony did make more of those consoles than they did for the digital. Sales figures was also noted to come with a few caveats due to significant supply constraints for both Series XS and PS5. The consoles would likely have sold even better if more stock was available. Now, you do have to ascertain maybe some of those consoles were sold to scalpers. However, you would have to believe that all of those consoles would be sold regardless, because at this point in the US, if, the PlayStation 5s are posted online, they still go out of stock incredibly quickly, and the demand is still incredibly high. I don't know, a lot of people think it was, something that Sony set up, or this is all a mass conspiracy or something like this, and they, limit stock on purpose to add an element of FOMO to buying a PlayStation 5. I really don't think it's that, because I had personally expected sales and demand for PlayStation 5 to be through the roof. The case is, I really do believe this. I think gaming now is more popular than it's ever been for a variety of different reasons. I feel like when the PlayStation 4 and more so PS3, PS2, PS1, it was cool to have those consoles, especially to play your sports games and things like that. But now I really do believe there's a demand for high-end gaming and wanting it right away. Yes, the PlayStation 2 sold really, really well, but I do attribute a factor of that being that it was a DVD player as well. So I really can't, compare the PS2 to the PS5 because it is a little bit different, and I think ultimately the PS2 will outsell the PS5. However, here's maybe a relative hot take for you guys. I think that this generation of consoles, being the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch, combined will be the most sold consoles in any generation, at least in recent memory. I don't know exactly NES sales and things of that nature, but I think PS5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch combined will outsell PS2, Nintendo, GameCube, and Xbox. That's probably not even a hot take, just because I think more so this generation than ever before, people are going to be put in a position where you kind of need to get multiple consoles now. Just because PlayStation 5, you need to get that if you want the first-party PlayStation exclusives. You want to play Bethesda games, and you want to play some of those exclusives that Microsoft actually have churning up, either you get a gaming PC or you pick up an Xbox Series. And then Nintendo Switch, obviously that platform is more popular than ever, and if you look at games like Animal Crossing selling incredibly well, I think Switch is going to continue to do very well, and I think people are literally going to be put in a position where, yes, it might not be financially viable for a lot of people, but I think more people will be tempted to literally own all three platforms in a generation, and I don't recall the last time people were really put into that position. If you're talking about 360, PS3, Nintendo Wii, most people got maybe a 360 and then they picked up a Wii as well. Maybe they'd get a PS3 and a Wii. Most people did not get all three. As far as PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Wii U, most people didn't even buy a Wii U, and then a lot of people bought PS4 and Xbox One. A lot of people didn't buy both those consoles, and then if you go back to PS2, Xbox, GameCube, I still think that was an instance where people were only buying two of those consoles at most. This is one of those generations that I really feel like people are going to be put into a position where they are going to want to buy all three consoles, at least more people than before. And I think for the health of the industry, I think this console generation is going to be one of the most lucrative in terms of sales numbers and things of that nature ever before. But that is just my uneducated take. Honestly, some of you guys might feel very differently, but you see the demand for the PlayStation 5, even the demand for the Series S and the Series X. Yes, when we talk about these records being broken, the PlayStation 5 at this point has more demand than Series X and Series S, but Series X and Series S are sold out everywhere too. It's not cakewalk getting one of those consoles either, and it's being priced with a markup on eBay as well, so the demand is there. Now, the sustainability of that demand, that is ultimately going to come down to game library and people really being captivated by the offerings of the platform, and I do think that's going to persist until the end of the generation. Both parties know what they have to do. Nintendo, Microsoft, PlayStation 5, or Sony, I should say, they all know it's about the game library. It is about offering a compelling lineup of games that people will be wanting to drop, $300, $400, $500 on a console, and I think all three publishers are really going that route, and that means a lot of great games for us, so that's pretty good. Or in the case of, Microsoft, they bought up Bethesda, but they're also making their own games, to be fair, so give them credit where credit is due. Fable, Forza, Halo, Avowed, some good stuff is coming up there as well. Okay, moving on from that, Dead Cells sales have topped 3.5 million. Dead Cells sales have topped 3.5 million. DLC Fatal Falls launches in Q1 of 2021. So Dead Cells selling north of 3.5 million units worldwide is an incredibly successful number. 3.5 million is nothing to scoff at, and that's numbers that a lot of, mainstream, I guess, or games with a big marketing budget try to sell, but 3.5 millions for a game like Dead Cells, which it's not like Dead Cells had this gigantic marketing campaign. It's a game that really just traveled by word of mouth. However, you're seeing that more so this generation than any other, where if a game is of an immense quality level like a Dead Cells was, it's just going to circulate through the community, through Twitch streams, YouTube videos, social media platforms, Twitter, Reddit, MySpace, if you're still on that. I know everybody's still digging MySpace as my PlayStation 5 goes off, as my PlayStation 5 will enter rest mode here in a minute, apparently. You guys might have heard that sound too. Okay, so as far as the Fatal Falls DLC, again, that'll be coming Q1 2021 for $4.99. Developers Motion Twin and Evil Empire have announced. An overview of the DLC notes 2 entirely new biomes, the Fractured Shrines and the Undying Shores, as well as a new boss, are parallels to the Stilt Village, Clock Tower, and Timekeeper areas and their alternate paths. These additions will provide significant new options for fans looking for middle-run exploration and are brimming with new ways to succumb to terribly painful death. The update is also dropping a cache of new weapons, details of which will be revealed soon. Game, again, will be getting its DLC for $4.99. Usually you can find Dead Cells on sale these days, maybe for like, $18 with the Bad Seed DLC, which is a pretty good deal. Dead Cells is a game that some of my buddies literally have put north of like 100, 200, 300 hours. They've played the game quite a bit. I personally haven't played it that much, but the time I spent with Dead Cells, I really enjoyed it, so I'd give it a strong recommendation. If you can find it on sale, if you can even, muster up the idea of dropping $25 for it, I would recommend doing that. So that's going to wrap up this video. Again, this generation, I think, from a financial standpoint, is going to be one of the most successful for all parties involved. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. I think all of these consoles are going to do very good, and that means hopefully we get a lot of great games coming out this generation as well. And Dead Cells sales have topped 3.5 million. DLC Fatal Falls launches in Q1 of 2021. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.